Hi. Liberation through limitation, breaking the covenant with the program, part 2. Everyone is born with the potential to differentiate, to live the uniqueness of self. This potential is nurtured in the body through strategy and authority. When we give the body authority to make decisions, we move naturally in the right direction to meet the people, opportunities, and experiences that are correct for us. I call this having your life. However, even when following strategy and authority, the mind can pose conundrums by trying to make decisions. In this way, we end up with all manner of mental angst that can throw us off balance, creating pain and suffering. The not self has tried diligently to get me to be what I am not. In response, I have spent a great deal of my life living in pain, fear, shame, inadequacy, and trying desperately to prove my worth with my completely open ego. Now you can laugh. The question this book addresses is, can the mind be taught to see the life and remind us who we are, rather than running doomsday scenarios and trying to grab control? Mind is like a 2-year-old, very clever, narcissistic, and limited in perspective until it is taught. The mind has the ability to shift from adversary to ally. And the way we do this is to teach the mind to see. Once it can see that its behavior, thoughts, is producing turmoil and fucked upness, it has the opportunity to do something different. It can see and comment on what it sees, rather than trying to dominate. I have developed a clear way to look at the mechanics of both the not self mind and the counterpoint of the true self, and clearly outlining these two and obvious differences in how they operate. We offer the mind a way to see its operating system and how it impacts the very joy we have in living our life and having our life. And we provide another option, supporting and empowering the true self. I've created a bunch of charts with keynotes and ways to fill things in so that we can look at the not self mind and write out the very words and phrases and sentences that our particular minds use to mess with us. We do that with the not self mind and the self, the true self. The true self is actually very limited. And that's why I came up with the phrase liberation through limitation. Because when I quit trying to be who I am not, who mommy and daddy wanted, or my teachers wanted, or my culture wanted, or, boyfriends wanted, or girlfriends wanted, or whatever it is, when I quit trying to be who I'm not and try to be who I am, it's very limited. And it's so liberating. We are limited by our mechanics, just as all things are limited by their mechanics. We don't expect our bicycle to swim or sit on our lap and purr. When we look at the rave chart, what we see colored in is the most limiting aspect there is. This is what is defined, and it's a very narrow operating system. As a generator, I'm always connected to energy of my sacral system. And the way it operates is determined by the gates and channels I happen to have defined in my chart. We're also limited by our openness, but it's actually vaster because it can go so many more places. My ego is completely open. I will never be solid in knowing my worth, but I can just be okay with that. When my mind accepts that I actually am who I am, it can begin to remind me of this rather than continually wanting me to be something else. This something else can be seen in the openness of my chart. The not self minds think I should be who I'm not because of the fierceness of the genetic imperative. The next one will be the genetic imperative. I'm having fun. Okay, Tara.